There's a silent race happening every day. One not run on tracks or roads, but in our minds, an endless sprint toward some imagined finish line. We run toward success, toward validation, toward love, toward meaning, always just ahead, never quite within reach. We wake up already late. We drink coffee like fuel for survival. We scroll, compare, plan, perform, as if life were a competition and our worth was something to be earned through speed. But what if the race was never real? What if it was only the mind, trained by society and fear, that whispered, "You're behind. You're not enough yet. Run faster." And so we run away from silence, we run away from stillness, we run away from ourselves, because in the stillness we might see what's really there. And maybe that scares us. But Bob Marley said it plainly, the day you stop racing is the day you win the race. Not because you crossed the finish line, but because you finally realized there never was one. Peace is not at the end of the path. It's at the end of the running. We weren't born to prove something. We were born to experience, to witness, to breathe. Yet we've mistaken movement for progress, activity for meaning, and ambition for identity. But what happens when we stop, when we pause and just listen? We begin to hear something soft, subtle, honest, the sound of our own breath, the stillness behind the noise, the quiet presence we've always been, and in that moment, something inside sighs, as if it has waited lifetimes for us to finally stop. To stop racing is not to give up, it is to wake up, to finally see that what we were chasing was never outside of us. Because the moment we believe happiness is elsewhere, we enter the trap. A promise that tomorrow will be better, if only we push harder today. This is how we trade our present for the illusion of a future. But the future never comes as imagined. It arrives as another present moment. And again, we are told it is not enough. The finish line moves just out of reach. So we hustle, perform, pretend. We become experts in doing, but strangers to being. We know how to work, but not how to rest. How to speak, but not how to listen. How to accumulate, but not how to let go. And in the center of all this effort, we quietly suffer, not from failure, but from exhaustion, not from lack, but from disconnection. Because when you are always becoming, you never arrive. You are always in motion, but never at home. Real winning, if there is such a thing, is not about standing on a podium. It is about sinking into the now without resistance. It is about remembering that your value is not in what you achieve, but in what you are, which is already whole. What if you stopped, not out of defeat, but as a sacred rebellion against the madness of the world? What if you breathed deeply, looked around, and simply noticed the sunlight, the way leaves dance in the wind, the quiet rhythm of your own heart? There is no race. There is only this step. And if you can be fully in this step, the next will take care of itself. The peace you seek is not ahead. It is behind the veil of speed, beneath the armor of doing, within the silence you've been avoiding. To stop is to return. To return is to remember. And to remember is to finally live. There is a sacred wisdom in stopping. But stopping doesn't mean becoming passive. It means becoming present, fully, radically. When you stop running, you don't become stagnant, you become still. And stillness is not the absence of life, but its most intimate expression. Look at the tree. It grows without chasing. It doesn't strive to become more than it already is. And yet, it gives shade, oxygen, fruit. Its life is a quiet miracle, unfolding without panic. But we have forgotten how to be like trees. We have replaced stillness with striving, wisdom with knowledge, and presence with performance. The world taught us that to rest is to fall behind, that to be is not enough. You must prove, produce, perfect, and in that rush, you lose yourself. You become a stranger to your breath, a visitor in your own life. But the day you stop racing, a new space opens up. It is subtle, like the sound of snow falling, but it's there, a vast, timeless silence that has always been waiting beneath the noise. And in that silence, you meet yourself, not the self built from identity, roles, or achievements, but the one that was there before you were told who to be. You begin to see that you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not missing anything. The race was never real. It was a trance, a collective forgetting of the miracle of now. And when you stop, truly stop, the world reveals itself to you again. The taste of fruit becomes sweeter. The way sunlight touches your skin feels holy. You laugh more, not because things are perfect, but because perfection is no longer required. You listen more deeply to the wind, to your body, to the silence between your thoughts, and slowly you realize that peace is not something to be earned. It is something you return to when you release the need to chase. The mind may protest. It will try to drag you back into the race. It will say, just a little further, just one more goal, just one more version of yourself to perfect. But you don't need to answer. You can simply notice the voice and breathe. Because the true home is not in the finish line, it's in the pause, the sacred space where nothing needs to happen for everything to be enough. Let us ask then, what are we really chasing? Is it security, recognition, love, or something so ineffable, so deep and wordless, that we keep mistaking shadows for substance? Most of the time, we don't even know. We run because everyone else is running. We push because we're afraid of what might happen if we don't. We perform, adjust, polish our image, afraid that, in our raw state, we are not enough. But there is a deeper intelligence that doesn't operate on speed. It flowers in patience, in presence, in the holy art of waiting without anxiety. The day you stop racing, you don't collapse, you awaken, because in that stillness, you begin to feel the quiet hum of existence, the pulse of your own being, untouched by comparison. The sun doesn't rush, it rises in silence, and in that silence, it blesses the world. So too, can you become, not by becoming someone else, but by shedding the layers that were never you to begin with. You were taught to be fast, but your soul is slow. You were told to be loud, but your truth is whispered. And in the act of no longer hurrying, you start to hear that whisper. It says, you are already home. You don't have to get there. You are there. This is the paradox. When you give up the race, you win. because the race was the very thing keeping you from the destination. You discover that peace was never far, only hidden beneath the noise of wanting, beneath the friction of self-improvement. You discover that love doesn't need to be earned, and truth doesn't need to be chased. It is still, it is now. It is already here, so stop measuring your worth by distance traveled. Stop sprinting toward a version of yourself that only exists in imagination. Sit, breathe, be with what is. Be with who you are, when nothing needs to happen. Because in that quiet moment, you'll feel it, the soft, unshakable knowing that the race is over and you are free.